Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. We're at Musaafer, Indian restaurant. We're traveling through India. We're traveling through the States. We're following corporate executive chef. And he's also goes by CFP, which is a chief food philosopher. Michelin-starred Chef Mayank Istwal of Musaafer. He's my special guest today. He's telling us spices, stories, and secrets. It's been fascinating, and it also sounds so good. Restaurant just won a Michelin star, like I mentioned. Okay, so what is Musaafer's food philosophy, chef?
Okay. So food philosophy is very clear that we want to celebrate the cuisine of India in the totality, right? The food philosophy comes from taking inspiration from the ingredients, the spices from India, the dry ingredients from India. And then we also take inspiration from the local produce. As I said, it's we have to keep it sustainable. So it's a mix of the fresh produce from Houston and dry ingredients from India, and combining it, making it, and the recipes that we learned from the journey, bringing these recipes alive, cooking those recipes that are not, they were never in the mainstream, bringing it to the mainstream all together, and then using the modern techniques to elevate the dining experience, and then putting in a lot of textures in the food from not only doing like techniques wise, but also relying on the texture that happens naturally to you, right? We also creating the textures with the techniques, but also so it's all about a sensory experience.
Mm-hmm.
You bite into something, you hear that sound involving all your senses, and then tickling the sixth sense by the great storytelling, which is such an important part of the dining experience. So it brings everything together. So that has been our food philosophy since day one.
It's a really amazing philosophy, and what an undertaking it must be to pull that off consistently with, you said, like over 400 plates a day, and more. It's incredibly, and so I know how hard that is, and my hat is off to you for sure, my friend. I admire that quite a bit. Is there a story, if I'm a first time guest, is there a story that your staff tells to first time Musaafers?
Oh yes, like they always talk about the journey, and like they always talk about, but it depends on that what season you are in, because we have so many stories to tell. But first time musafirs, we always talk about the amount of like hardship that has gone into the restaurant. They talk about the beautiful journey that I've been on. They talk about their personal journeys they've been on with Musaafer. So it's a combination of all three when they meet the diners. And then we also have, like right at the end of their meal, we also have a tour for the guest. So we give them a tour of the
Oh,
restaurant.
that's cool.
Yes, it's so important. So then they,
Who does the tour?
so tour is done by the servers, the managers,
Okay.
I do some
Everyone's trained to do it.
yeah. Whosoever is available, they do the tour for the people. It's so
That's
important.
that's it. So, do they get to go through the kitchen, or what's on the tour?
So, not inside the kitchen, but they can still see the parts of the kitchen where they can see
Yeah.
the big line. They can see the pastry section, which is a kind of a live section with a glass window. They can see everything that is happening in the pastry kitchen, and then they can like sneak in to the main kitchen.
What a great way to leave them with an experience to talk about
Yeah,
and tell
absolutely.
everybody about. Well, you're also on a quest to rediscover long forgotten ingredients, including nuts, fungi, spices, herbs, and much more, and bring it back into the mainstream. And it,
Yes.
this passion, what drives this, and what is your goal behind this quest?
So this passion, I'll tell you, like recently I was talking to somebody like, I have believe in a philosophy of four Fs. Now, 4F means flora, fauna, farm, and food. Food is the end result. So, as a chef, like I think my upbringing was like that. I used to go foraging a lot with my grandfather, and he was a doctor in allopathy, and later on he started doing Ayurveda. So I picked up the medicine part from him. I used to go foraging a lot with him all the time, finding these herbs and like this bark of the tree, the roots, like the fungus in a specific season. And he used to test all this in his like little dispensary. And then of course we were testing all these ingredients in the kitchen as well. So I realized that there was so much happening. The foraging was such an important part of creating something fascinating, because whatever nature has to offer, you have to see. When I came to Texas, I have to rate it here, because when I came to Texas first time, I hunting is very big in Texas. So the flora and fauna is taken care of very well, because I used to go hunting, I used to go foraging. Then the farm, we work with the local farms, because then you have so much respect of like, you don't waste anything. You try to use a lot of ingredients, like we make an onion pakoda in the restaurant. So what we do, we use every single, but when we receive the onions, we have the skin of the onions, right? When you peel it, we burn those skins, we make ash out of it, and we make a batter. We make a batter out of it with different kind of flours. We mix it, it turns black in color. So we fry our onions in that. So we try not to waste, but try to use every single part of the plant, whatever we is getting, right? So, but coming back, the farm aspect of it, when you see the animals in the farm, how they rear the animals, how they take care of the animals, like, so it is so important. You have so much respect for everything that comes into your kitchen. You don't want to waste. You want to utilize every single part of it. So I think that is so important to create something really good, the food part. So if you take care of the first three F's, like flora, farm, food, so sorry, flora, fauna, farm, the food is taken care of very, very well. Because that is the whole idea. So for me, even like back in India, like this is how I grew up with. I come from the foothills of the Himalayan mountains, and our cuisine there, we always use every single part of the plant. So we did a dish on the menu. We did the squash blossoms pancake. So when we did the squash blossom pancake, so we took the squash as a fruit. We used the leaves of the squash plant, right? We made a powder out of it. And then we use the fruit. Then we filled the fruit in the leaves. We make a fritter out of it. Then we also made the pancake. So we were using, and then the seeds of the squash, we use that we made a crumble out of it. So using every single part of the plant, and to see the endless possibilities that like you can do so much if you understand how the plant, you're not only talking about the flower of the plant, you're talking about the fruit, you're talking about the seeds, you're talking about the stem, you're talking about the leaves. If it's edible, you can use it in some way or the other. So I think that all these things really help me, and this has always been my philosophy, to find so many amazing things from my journey, so many amazing ingredients from my journey, and there's so many forgotten ingredients, so many spices, the bark of the tree, the fungus, and then we've been collecting these for the concepts in New York. So people will see more of it in the future, more and more of it.
That's amazing. And it's amazing that you're bringing this to everybody. I love the story about you're going to these farms and these families that may go extinct if they don't have the customers still, and that you're sort of opening up this world in a whole new way, in a very ambitious way. And your diners and us that get to taste it benefit from it in so many different ways. Chef, thank you so much. We're going to take our last break here. Musaafer Indian Restaurant is Houston's premier destination for Indian cuisine. If you're out there, you got to check it out. No stop in Houston is complete without going to Musaafer Indian Restaurant. And they are honored within 12 days, I think you said, they received Musaafer Indian Restaurant received recognition for the one-star designation from the Michelin Guide at the Houston Michelin Award Ceremony. Such a big congratulations. I know that you guys appreciate everybody in Houston and your community and support them, and they're supporting you. So check it out. Executive Corporate Chef Mayank Istwal is with me today from Musaafer Indian Restaurant. We'll be right back.